Hello, my name is Jonathan Costner, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial video on the process of using Blender's compositing system using Blender version 2.79. If you haven't checked out my previous video called How to Edit Video Clips, a tutorial video, I recommend you check that out. And with that being said, let's get to it. So what we have here in front of us is the compositing system on Blender, but I'm mostly going to show you the basics of how to use the node editors up here. So in order to get started, we're not going to bother with these two down here, so I'm just going to move this down just a bit just to get it out of view. And this is going to be our graph system where we're going to be editing our nodes. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to left click on Use Nodes, and here we have the renders layers and the composite layer, or at least composite. So we don't need render layers, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the delete key to delete the layer, and as you can see, the line that was connected to composite has been deleted or erased. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift A to take me to the add menu, and I'm going to create a image input. So I'm going to left click on image, and here we have an image node. So in order to use this, I'm going to go down here to open, left click, and now I'm going to go to desktop, left click, and here is the image folder. So I'm going to left click on that, and to get a better view I'm going to left click on this bar up here, and here is image number 1. So I'm going to left click on this, and I'm going to go up here and select open image, and the image is right over here. You can also make adjustments to the where the nodes are by holding down the middle mouse wheel, and I'm going to drag this over here to the left. And if I drag this node over here to the composite output, I don't get anything in the background. I don't even see the image. In order to fix this, I'm going to press Shift A, and now I'm going to go down to Output, and I'm going to add a viewer node. So I'm going to put it below the compositor. As of right now, we really don't need composite, so I'm going to delete this. Left click on this node and move it up here, and now I'm going to move the image node to the output image of the viewer node, but we still can't see the image. So in order for me to fix this, you need to go down here and left click on backdrop, and here's the backdrop image. We need to make a couple of more adjustments, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift A, and I'm going to see if I can well, the only thing I'm going to show you for today is how to work with the color saturation, the brightness, and contrast. So that's really the main focus of this tutorial. So I'm going to press Shift A, I'm going to browse around a couple of features for a bit. And again, there's just a lot of cool stuff here you can actually use. So I'm going to go over here to color, and I'm going to select color balance. I'm going to move it over here in between the image and the viewer nodes, and as you can see, it connects the nodes to the image input and image output of the color balance. If you're not really fond of making adjustments using this node, you can always go over here to make some adjustments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the blue color to let's say a green color. So I'm going to actually left click on the green right here, and as you can see, we get a little bit of some green in the shadows, algae or something like that. And now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to left click on maybe yellow, and now the blue water, or lake as it were, looks a bit green. And let's give it some purple by going down here to gamma. I'm going to left click on the purple right here. You can also make adjustments to the numbers of the gamma, lift, and the correct of the properties menu of the color balance. If I went down here to gamma and left click, you have these RGB adjustments by typing in certain number values. You've also got HSV, and you've got the hex. So you've got those pretty cool features. So I'm just showing you some of the basics of using the how to actually make color adjustments to your image or video clip if you have that. For example, if I press Shift A, we can also add in a movie clip node, And just like image, just go to open and select your movie clip, but I'm not going to do that for today. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, so now let's say I want to make an adjustment to the contrast or brightness of the image clip. So I'm going to left click on the color balance. What I can also do is I can hold down the shift key and left click on viewer, and if you hold down the shift key while color balance and viewer is selected, you can actually, well, actually you can't, but again, you can actually make a couple of adjustments while moving around. Again, this feature is a bit more complicated as opposed to other Blender features, but I'm only showing you what you can do using the compositing system, the color balance, and the viewer node. So now I'm going to try to make some adjustments with the contrast and brightness. So I'm going to press Shift A, and I'm going to go down here to bright and contrast, left click on that, and we get this feature. So I'm going to put it in between the image and color balance, and as you can see, the node connects to the image input and the image output of the bright and contrast. And so if I left click on brightness, I can actually increase the brightness amount, and it actually changes the brightness of the image. So I'm going to set these values to 0.000. I can also make changes to the contrast by left clicking and dragging this over to about maybe 3.0, and you can see it changes the contrast. Or I can type in, let's do 10.0, enter, and it changes the contrast of the image. So the shadows of the lake or the water is a bit darker. So you can actually see the process of how this works in the node editing system. So I'm going to delete, so actually I'm going to take this back to 0. And now it's back to the regular settings, but this is how you can make several adjustments. Okay, so now let's say, for example, I want to desaturate the image. So I'm going to go to Shift A. I'm going to go back up here to Input. Actually, no, I'm going to go over here to Color. And if I'm right, I'm going to go to Hue, Saturation, Value. Put this in between brightness and contrast, and I'm going to take the, actually no, I'm going to take the saturation down to 0.0. And we have a bit of a black and white image, and if I get rid of the color balance by deleting it and grabbing the output image to hue saturation value and adding it to the viewer image input, we get the black and white image. And again, it's all a matter of understanding how these values works. So I'm going to set this to 0.5, and we get a little bit of our color back. So I'm going to set it to 5.0, and that's really bright, or at least that's really oversaturated. And I'm going to, let's do 1.0, and that looks about right. And again, you can change all these other settings and features, and if you're ever finished using the making adjustments to the color and arrangements, all you have to do is go to Shift A, go over here to Output, and basically go to Compositing, or to use the composite mode, and just grab another node over here to the output of the hue saturation value and connect it with image. And this allows you to actually render out your settings. So if you just go over here to the render and dimension settings, make sure that your settings are adjusted to about whatever render information you want. So I'm going to go down here for a bit. So here's the output feature. So just create an output folder for your image clip. Normally I like to render out my images either as JPEG or PNG, and if it's video clips, I like to use the AVI JPEG or the FFmpeg video clip. But those are some of the basics of using the node editor system, or at least the compositing system. I hope you enjoy this tutorial video. These are only some of the basics. I hope to see you guys again soon. My name is Jonathan Costner. Thank you for watching this video, and have a good day. Bye.